everybody, and in the recent update by Game Informer, we were given a glimpse into each of the brand new Crucible maps coming to Destiny with the Taken King. So we're going to be getting 8 new maps in total, which is a lot. I'm excited. Also, I do actually have gameplay from E3 on some of these maps, so I will leave a link in the description with my gameplay that I played on some of these maps, so you guys can check them out in a little bit more detail if that is something that you want to do. But first of all, let's take a look at Bannerfall, which takes place on the last city on Earth. Now, what the Game Informer article says is this map should be recognizable to most Destiny players since it's set on a tower that's similar to the one players congregate on in between missions. This tower, however, is set on the other side of the city and has long been abandoned. Bannerfall is a good mid-sized map, well suited to matches of control, and its symmetry works well for Rift matches. A large open courtyard evokes the memory of the actual Guardian Tower, while an angled back alley offers a sneaky path to victory. And Bungie's take on this map is that at one time there was a 4th faction that held court in this tower along with the beginnings of the new Monarchy faction. You can see that in the banners on each side of the map. On one side you have the familiar new Monarchy logo, but on the other you have this unfamiliar logo that is still tattered and torn from when this faction used to exist. Moving on to Frontier, that takes place on the city perimeter, which I like to call the train map, because there's a train track. What they say about this map is that this is another map set far out on the city perimeter of Earth. The location is a transfer relay station, shuttling supplies to other perimeter stations such as the Twilight Gap map from the original release of Destiny. Frontier is a semi-symmetric map built around a train yard. A train track cuts through the middle of the map and runs across a bridge, which is a central landmark for the map and a bottleneck for combat. Frontier features a lot of good sniper sightlines and has a good mix of open and closed spaces for firefights. It's also a showcase Rift map. Bungie's take on this map is that one of the landmarks on the map is a little gondola platform, which is actually the same gondola you see in Twilight Gap. The idea is that these two maps are connected to each other. In the skybox, you can actually see that little outpost up in the mountains. Moving on to Crossroads, which is in the Lost Oasis of Mars. This Vex structure on Mars is one of only 2 maps featuring teleporters. Crossroads is overgrown with the giant vegetation that formed on Mars in the wake of the Traveler's arrival. This map is really good showcase for mayhem matches since it allows players to launch themselves into the air and teleport away while their special attacks quickly recharge. The main body of the map is separated from a smaller island reachable by launchers. Fights here tend to be chaotic. Bungie's take on the map is that it's an interesting mix of that familiar Vex architecture that leans a little bit more towards metallic instead of crumbled stone. And there are giant rotted out tree stumps that provide some good cover. It's almost 2 maps because there's an entire chunk that functions as its main body where the teams spawn, and then there is a separate island that is a gnarled mass of trees and roots set way off to the side. They're connected via launchers that catapult you across the map, as well as 3 sets of teleporters. Now on to Sector 618, which is in Cosmodrome Wall of Old Russia. Clumsy Guardians could easily find themselves falling to their death while crossing Sector 618's various floating platforms. Expect a lot of leaping and platforming. Sector 618 features a square layout that has 2 bridges crossing a central chasm and is the new PlayStation 4 exclusive map. The map is set inside the Cosmodrome Wall, so it should feel familiar to anyone who recalls Destiny's early story mission that has players facing off against an advancing tide of Fallen slipping through the darkness. So this map is actually from when you first start the game and you get your first weapon. That is where this map is actually located. Bungie's take on it is that the core footprint of the map is the square created by the bridges. We wanted players to take advantage of all the movement and opportunities with the platforms. You have these 2 bridges, but on either side you have these multi-stage jump routes where you can platform up to high bridge and then jump along the side to get the drop on another player. We wanted to give players a lot of different ways to move through space in interesting ways. Now we are moving on to maps that we have never seen before. The others we actually got to see and I got to play at E3, but these next ones are totally new. Next up we have Ghost Ship, Foundling's Gyre on the Reef. Grr. Yeah. This is the first Crucible map set in the Reef. The ghost ship is actually a fallen ship that fell after a hive attack. The smallest map in the Taken King, Ghost Ship features a symmetric layout. However, on one side of the ship has been torn open by a hive attack, and various debris float through one side of the ship, which helps give players a sense of where they are. Ghost Ship shines in the smaller matches with fewer people. Bungie's take on the map is that Ghost Ship features some low gravity effects, so dead guardians and other objects will slowly float away. One of my favorite things in this map is when someone is running through one of the tiny little vent connections and they get killed by another player and ragdoll out into the hall. It tells a little story all by itself. Next up we have Exile, which is part of the Hive fleet on Saturn. This Hive prison cell sits inside one of Oryx's ships that orbits Saturn. Players will recognize the architecture and detail work from Oryx's dreadnought. Exile is a little bit longer and narrower than most Crucible maps and is strong for both control and clash mode. The lower level adds a vertical element to combat, while a complicated maze of corridors leads to some violent conflicts as you take corners. Bungie's take is that there are 3 main lanes throughout this map. There is the bridge side that takes you out past a window that shows you Saturn and some of the other ships in Oryx's fleet. Down the middle of the map is a ramp that takes you through a circular room with a crystal in it. In that room is a drop down, which allows you to enter a lower catacomb level. Next up we have Memento, which takes place in the European Dead Zone on Earth. This map returns players to the European Dead Zone that was first shown off in the Widow's Court map released with the House of Wolves DLC. The core of the map is an overgrown street tucked in between 2 larger buildings, all set within a roughly triangular shape. In the middle is a larger courtyard that is angled down and provides some sightline blocking. This is another good control clash map, but its moderate size means it also plays well in smaller team modes. Bungie's take is that Memento is much more vertical than Widow's Court. There is one building in Widow's Court that has an elevation shift. Memento has a couple of significant elevation shifts where you can get some really strong high ground advantages. Snipers. That's all I gotta say. And lastly, we have Vertigo, which takes place on the Calorie Basin? Caloris Basin, Mercury. Calorie doesn't sound right. Caloris? Okay. In Vertigo, Guardians take another trip back to Mercury to fight on a Vex structure high in the sky above the yellow planet. At one time, a Cabal expedition force began exploring this structure, but the group mysteriously vanished and hasn't been seen since. The odd Cabal bolted on architecture adds some variety to both sides of this symmetrical map. Bungie's take is that one of the key features of the map is a one-way teleporter that spits players out on a really powerful platform on the other side of the map. That platform gives you great coverage of both ends of the map and really opens up some interesting gameplay moments. Vertigo's one central control room is really crucial and gives you fast access to anywhere on the map. So that is it, guys. That is the 8 maps that we're going to be getting with the Taken King. I think they all look great. They feel a little bit different to what we've had before in terms of design and also gameplay. Obviously with the teleporters and the fact that you have platform maps like Vertigo and also the one that takes place inside the wall. You actually have to move around. It's mixing things up a bit. It's mixing up gameplay. It's mixing up how you decide to go into a PvP match. So I'm really excited for that. Also, there's been some little tidbits hidden in these gameplays. One is that we were able to see what Shadow Step actually looks like from the Night Stalker, and also there was someone getting killed by the 347 Vestian Dynasty. So keep a lookout for that, guys. You might have to rewind to go and take a look at it. I don't want to point it out where it is. I want you guys to find it. I believe in you. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you want to see more detailed videos on the first 4 maps that were in this article, I have gameplay that I captured at E3 on my channel, and I will leave a link in the description. Let me know in the comment section which map is looking like your favorite, or what are you just most interested to play out of the 8 maps that we have seen. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay positive, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.